The quantum displacement drive hummed its final note as Princess Jathara's scout vessel breached Earth's ionosphere. Her triple-jointed fingers danced across the holographic navigation array, precise calculations flowing through her augmented neural cortex. 47 light-years. She had traveled 47 light-years to find him. Dr. Marcus Chen sat in his cramped apartment in New Seattle, staring at the half-empty bottle of synthetic whiskey on his desk. The rain hammered against the reinforced windows, acidic precipitation, a gift from the atmospheric processors that had saved humanity but poisoned the sky. He hadn't thought about Kepler 442b in 3 years. He'd forced himself not to. The memories still clawed at him during sleepless nights. The diplomatic mission, the bioluminescent forests that pulsed with the planet's electromagnetic heartbeat, the moment he'd met her in the crystalline halls of the Empress's palace. Jathara had been assigned as his cultural liaison, her species, the Velkari, possessing a physiology adapted to their world's intense radiation and altered physics. They'd shared 6 months of careful professional distance that gradually dissolved into something neither species had protocols for. The Velkari experienced time differently. Their neural architecture processed consciousness across multiple dimensional planes simultaneously. When Jathara spoke, Marcus felt her words in his bones, resonating through quantum entanglement that human scientists barely understood. He'd explained human love to her through poetry and mathematics, the only languages that seemed to bridge their cognitive gap. She'd shared her people's concept of thread binding, a connection that transcended linear time, where 2 consciousness patterns became inextricably woven across probability streams. Then Earth had recalled him. Emergency. The colony on Europa had failed. They needed his expertise in extreme environment xenobiology. 47 light-years away, people were dying. He'd had 6 hours to leave. The diplomatic shuttle's AI hadn't allowed personal communications beyond official channels. By the time Marcus could send a message, he was already in cryosleep, hurtling back toward Sol system. He'd composed it anyway, pouring 3 years of emotions into compressed data. I had no choice. Forgive me. I will find a way back. But the message had never sent. A solar flare had corrupted the communication array 3 days into the journey. Marcus had arrived home to discover his words had dissolved into cosmic static, and the quantum lag meant any new message would take decades to reach Kepler 442b. So he'd buried himself in work, saved the Europa colony, and tried to forget eyes that shifted through spectrums humans couldn't perceive. The apartment's security system chimed. Marcus ignored it. Probably another refugee from the lower district seeking medical help. He'd treated 17 people this week already, draining his personal medical supplies. The chime became insistent. Then the door's molecular lock disengaged, impossible given military-grade encryption, and Jathara stood in his doorway. She looked different. Her chromatic skin, which had shifted through blues and silvers in Kepler 442b's high-radiation environment, now appeared muted, almost gray. Her breathing apparatus, an elegant collar of bioengineered tissue, labored against Earth's thick, oxygen-rich atmosphere. The gravity, 60% higher than her homeworld, made her movements careful, constrained. Why did you abandon me, human? Her voice carried the harmonic resonance he remembered, but underneath lay something fragile. The universal translator rendered her words in Mandarin, his native language, an intimacy of programming she must have specifically configured. Marcus stood frozen, the whiskey bottle forgotten. Jathara, how Earth is quarantined, the xenophobic protocols. I am a princess of Velkar. She stepped inside, and he saw the shimmer of a personal gravity field around her. Technology far beyond human capabilities. I negotiated passage through 16 territories. I bribed 3 enforcement AIs. I modified my biology to survive your planet's hostile conditions. Her body trembled slightly. I crossed 47 light years because our thread binding showed me you did not choose to leave. But I needed to hear it from your mouth. I needed to understand why you never responded. The truth hit Marcus like a physical blow. She'd felt him across the quantum foam, sensed his anguish, but not his explanation, not his desperate attempts to communicate. "The message," he whispered. "It corrupted. The solar flare. I tried to tell you." He watched understanding ripple across her features, her skin flickering through rapid color shifts that indicated deep emotional processing. In Velkari physiology, emotions weren't electrochemical reactions, but quantum state changes that affected their entire being. "You tried to return to me," she said, not a question but a discovery. "Across the probability streams I felt your determination, but I could not interpret its meaning clearly across such distance." Marcus closed the space between them. This close, he could feel the hum of her different biology, the way her presence seemed to exist slightly out of phase with local space-time. "Europa was dying. Thousands of people. I had 6 hours to choose between saving them and staying with you." "You chose correctly." Jathara's hand, 3 primary fingers and 2 opposable thumbs, reached toward his face. "A being who would abandon others to death would not be worth crossing galaxies to find. I came to understand, Marcus Chen. And to offer you a choice you did not have before." From her travel pack, she withdrew a small device that pulsed with the characteristic purple glow of exotic matter manipulation. A personal quantum bridge. Velkari technology, restricted to royal family only. It creates a stable wormhole between 2 predetermined points. She placed it in his hands. "One end remains with you, the other I leave on Kepler 442b. You may continue your work here, save your people, but you can also come home to me. Distance becomes irrelevant." Marcus stared at the device, feeling its impossible weight. The technology it represented could revolutionize human civilization, or trigger a dozen wars. But Jathara was offering it as a bridge between 2 hearts separated by the cosmos. "Why?" he asked. "Why risk so much?" Her eyes met his, shifting through colors that meant affection in her language. "Because thread binding is not a human concept or a Velkari concept. It is a universal truth, and some truths are worth crossing galaxies to prove." Outside, the acid rain continued to fall. Inside, 2 beings from impossibly distant worlds stood together, holding a device that could rewrite the meaning of separation. Marcus smiled for the first time in 3 years. "Then let me show you my world," he said. "Before I show you that yours became home the moment we met." Jathara's skin blazed with bioluminescent joy, and the quantum bridge hummed softly between them, a promise across the stars.